Man business, priceless experiences, Napa Valley wine tasting, spoiling my women friends, sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed.
Yo. We are live. It's your man Ken Billions on the check-in. What's good, everybody? How's your family? What's popping? As always, if you can see me, press 1, and if you can hear me, press 2. If you know what I do, then you know our routine. You know how we do over here. We get to it. We come through with them above the neck bars, something that you could learn from. What's happening? Welcome to Coin Game Ministries, man. Back like we never left, man. Back like we never left to do it again. Make sure we get them likes and them shares up. Get them likes and them shares up. Y'all be jerking me on my likes and my shares. I'll be going to y'all pages. I'm like, I seen you all in the comment section. What's good with the likes and the shares though? Be 3,000 views and 30 likes. The likes is free. Hey, over here we invest in the number one business. The accountability business. The accountability business produces a return on your investment. If you're going to invest in anything, make sure you invest in accountability business. Today, we're talking about technology. We are talking about immigration, and we're going to talk about the permanent underclass. And if you look like this, everything that I'm talking about has a major effect on your life. You don't want to be part of the permanent underclass, and it's going to happen, and it's happening right now, and there's a reason for it. But before we get it going, if you're a business owner, do me a favor and drop your links in the chat. If you're on YouTube, drop your link in the chat. If you are on Facebook, drop your link in the chat. And if you're really solid, share somebody's business link, man. Even if you ain't getting your business popping yet, all right? If you are a business owner, before we get this thing rolling, make sure you drop your link in the chat. And if you're interested in any promotion and anything, make sure you get at me. What we believe here, man, I love to do my spiel. You know how in wrestling, The Rock had his intro? He had the people's eyebrow, right? I have an intro too. So my intro is this. We believe in heaven now in every space of our lives. That means heaven in our finances, heaven in our marriages, because for years we've been living with the outdated dogma that you got to die. You got to die to get heaven. We don't believe that here. We believe in heaven right now in every space of our lives, not just money. We believe heaven now in our finances, with our loved ones, with our children, in our fellowship. Heaven now, not later. We believe in root chakra activation, and I'm root chakra poppy. So that means the bareness, the basic necessities, food, clothes, and shelter. I like that to be activated. So the best water, the best shelter, the best clothes. Period. That's root chakra activation. Value for value. We believe in do without will, but do no harm. Do whatever you want to do, man. Do you. Just don't do no harm in the process. Necessary narcissism. I know. You hear the term narcissism, you're like, that's a bad thing. There's some popping little attributes to narcissism, like having a inflated sense of importance. You need that, especially if you look like this. Selfish now to be selfish, selfless later. What that means is when my cup runneth over, then I'll worry about you niggas. Let me wet my beak a little bit though. And top shelf or nothing. I want the best of the best or nothing. Fair exchange, no robbery. And most importantly, a 9 on the dope. So that means 9 on the dope means your product is good. That's what 9 on the dope means. Whatever you put out, it's a 9 on the dope. You have to know what I'm talking about to know about the dope being a 9. 9 on the dope. Look, I'm gonna play this video, and this video is going to be my starter of how I start this conversation about the permanent underclass, because I'll allow this gentleman to explain it, because he'll explain it way better than I ever could. So let's get into it. We're going to start talking, and I want to open it up with the permanent underclass. Let's do it.
Well, pipeline is that car. First of all, just say good evening to you.
Good evening to you as well. The pipeline from schools to prison is calculated. They calculate how many students are going to flunk out of school, and therefore they start building these prison complexes for them.
Well, that's a very easy one, Carl. You don't need necessarily have to have a pipeline to figure that out. You live in a society in which there's only 3 things that an individual could do to be self-sustaining, competitive in society. That's the 3 different levels. 1, 2, 3. The highest level is number 1. At the top, you either have a job with skills to probably equip you to be sustainable there. 2, you have a business up there. You can't have a business and don't have a job. You must go down to level 2. Level 2 means you must go on some form of welfare or public assistance. And if a conservative group comes by and kicks you off or close out all the programs, then you have no alternative to go down to level 3. Level 3 means you must steal. So every individual in our society, and especially blacks, must do 1 of 3 things: either sophistication, a combination, or elaboration of either working, going on welfare, you steal. And the black folk right now live in a society where they have no businesses. They have less than 1/2 of 1% of the business in the United States. They have less than 1/2% of the wealth. They have no industries of any consequence. And when at the second level, all the welfare and public assistance programs been cut out, then yes, you're going to go to jail. You're going to be criminalized. That's what a permanent underclass is. And that was put in effect way back in the 1968-69 by President Nixon, called benign neglect, which means cut out all these programs, shift the focus off of black folk, shift it to other groups, minority women and immigrants, to pretend that black folk don't exist. Benign neglect means make black folk become invisible in our society, use very broad, ambiguous terms like minorities, poor folk, people of color, multicultural, and diversity. So yes, there's a pipeline that's been set in place for years. And when you're debating issues, not worth debating. If you cannot build businesses and have a self-independent economy and a self-independent community where you can control the elements in your community, you're going to go to prison. You're going to be a permanent underclass of beggars and criminals.
Well, Doc, you said a few years back, well, you've been saying this for years, that 2013, that we would be a permanent underclass. Have we reached that stage?
Yes, you are now the official permanent underclass in America now. You're through. You got a very small window of opportunity, because I hate to say this to black folk, because I don't want to depress them. There's a small window. If they can organize to do the kind of things we should be doing collectively as a team and as a group, we can still maybe get out of it. But it's getting very bad. And as you saw in Powernomics in Chapter 3 that I talked about, that also started in 2013, that in this century, that the issue won't be what Du Bois was talking about back in the 1920s about it being the color line. It's going to be the boundary lines, where people are going to be fighting for territory, for boundaries. That's the issue in Syria. That's the issue in Russia with Ukraine. That's the issue in Palestinians and the Arabs and Israel. They're fighting for territory. Everybody's fighting for territory with black folk. Black folk not giving up all that territory. They're integrating. They're integrating, in all these major metropolitan cities are going to be gentrified, where whites can come back and young people come back and take over all the major cities where black folk used to be the dominant population. They're going to give up their territory. They're going to give up all their rights and all their assets in those areas. And so it's very hard to explain things to black folk. Most don't listen, and ones do listen, they don't care.
That is the OG, Claude Anderson. And I wanted his voice to lay out basically where I wanted to go. Now, I said this before and it offended people, but I'm going to say it again. Listen and listen to me clear. What you know as Black America does not have a 500-year future. What you know as Black America or Black people do not have a 500-year history in America. A few will survive, a few will keep the bloodline going, but for the most part, what you know as Black America, 150-year history, 200-year history, future, tops, because the behavior and the cultural beliefs is going to ensure that what you know as Black America will be no more. Now, the history that I'm talking about, you'll exist. You'll just be the bottom part of society that everybody from the top pulls from. There will be no upward mobility. One of the reasons that it's going to be like that is because of the fourth revolution, industrial revolution that we are in right now. Let's go through the four major revolutions in America. The first revolution in America, the Industrial Revolution, was around the 17th century, 18th century, where you had, it was called the rise of machinations, machinations. You had steam engines, water power. You had the rise of boats and railroads, right? And then you go to the 1800s and you got steel. Andrew Carnegie made his money in steel. He was a steel guy. Chemicals, electricity, J.P. Morgan and his investments in electricity. You had the assembly lines. You see how the assembly line changed Henry Ford's business, all right? These are all revolutionary periods because it changed the way people live. Each revolution, those people that couldn't get with the times, they wind up starving to death. They wind up becoming the beggars of society. They wind up going extinct. You're in a revolution now, whether you know it or not. Then the next one was around the 1950s. You got automation. That means when machines are doing things that humans used to do, you could go to sleep and the machine can do the job and you don't have to monitor it. You got electronics. You got computers, right? You got mobile phones. The space race, biotechnology, what they call PLCs, programmable logic controllers, PLCs. You're in the fourth revolution right now. Did you know that? I'm going to play you another video. This should scare you, what I'm going to play. Now, the interesting thing that why this fourth revolution is real interesting, because this fourth revolution that we're in is a revolution that, if taken advantage of, generationally poor Black American families can change their life. But the opposite is happening, because the average Black American does not know how to integrate into the fourth revolution. And let me tell you something about all four stages of these industrial revolutions. It never goes back to the old way. Now, many of you think that the old days will come back. They never do. And there's always a charismatic leader that pulls on your emotional strings about nostalgia, about the good old days and what it used to be like, and bringing those days back, but they never come back, ever. Technology always wins. Once we stopped fighting with swords, we never went back to it. Modern warfare was forever changed with gunpowder. We never went back to warring like that. Satellites and computers. You really think that we're going to go back to the old ways? Let me tell you how superior technology is right now. That when you board a plane, you expect it to land. The plane is flying 40,000 feet above the surface. And you board the plane comfortably and expect it to land. Flight is that efficient right now that planes barely crash. Sometimes they do because it's the law of averages, but for the most part, they don't. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be very worried. You should be worried for your bloodline, because how is your son going to eat in 20 years? I know that's your little king. I know that's your baby. But if you don't equip your son with the necessary knowledge right now, your baby is going to be laying on some woman's couch. But you're like, Ken, I thought they were going to go extinct. No. The women won't. You know why? Because the women will produce. They have the assembly line coming out of their vagina. The permanent underclass will come out of her vagina. So it'll always be women until they figure out how to replace her too. You better talk to your sons. You better talk to your daughters. Gender studies is a dumb thing to go to school for. What are you going to do with that? Gender studies? And we're in the fourth revolution? Autonomous vehicles, quantum computing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and your child is going to school for gender studies? Show y'all something real quick, man. Y'all think it's not a game, man. I'm gonna show y'all something. You should be super scared of this. Let me see. I'm gonna introduce you to Stretch. Stretch is not the black man's friend. Stretch is not the black man's friend at all, considering that many black men make their money in these industries right here. Let me introduce you to Stretch. Stretch can work up to 16 hours without being powered up. Stretch can pick 800 boxes an hour. No bathroom break. These were once jobs that men did. There's no use for a workforce anymore. Oh, those are sensors right there. They know where they're going. So only thing they need is one person to oversee all these robots. Each one of these can work 16 hours on one battery. That used to be a man's job right there, huh? This is how Stretch perceives, man. This is happening. This will not stop. This is technology. This will not stop. And for shareholders, you know how much money this makes you? The fact that they don't need bathroom breaks, the fact that they don't need retirement and 401k. This is nothing but profits here. This can do 800 boxes an hour. That's Stretch. That's not your friend, ladies and gentlemen. That's not your friend, right? So now you can train your children to get in industries that make Stretch, because as of right now, robots aren't making each other for the most part. They still need programming by human beings. So you could train your children to make those, or you could continue, have your child fucking around on TikTok. You too. Let me tell you something and listen to me clear. Technology will break the black family up worse than slavery and worse than welfare, worse than crack, I promise you on my dead mom. Technology is going to break the back of the black family, and no one's even talking about it. You thought slavery broke the black family. You thought welfare policies broke the black family. You haven't seen nothing yet. See, AI doesn't have human empathy. AI doesn't care about social justice. And one thing about mankind, as we keep going in consciousness, we seem to get more efficient how we get a job done. So while you're social justicing, while you really think that you're oppressed, and while you're not focused on the fourth revolution, your bloodline is going to starve unless you course correct right now. Remember, look at all these revolutions that occurred. We never went back to the old way. That's a fact. We never went back to horse and buggy. We never went back to fighting with swords and rocks. We never went back to old warfare. And many of you doomsday people are hoping that the system collapse. Keep on hoping. We never go backwards, only forwards. This is going to happen. What Claude Anderson predicted is happening. That the black American family or people are a permanent underclass. Stay with me. I'll show you some numbers that should make you piss yourself. Now, the thing about the black permanent underclass, it's very, 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 very profitable. It'll never get better. Why? It makes too much money. In fact, these non-descendable people that we go by as black, these labels and terms and say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. It's been making money forever. It made Lehman Brothers money and JP Morgan Chase and New York Life and Wachovia Corporation and the Barclays and AIG. They made a lot of money off this term called black and colored and Negro. You see, because that represents a product. It's not a people, it's a product. And as long as it's a product, it can be used for commerce. I mean, think about it. A nurse in the inner city benefits off this black product. The surgeons benefit off this black product. Oh man, the funeral home. Bet you think the funeral home wants niggas to stop killing each other? You need them caskets sell. Politicians, counselors, therapists, and pastors. Oh man, everybody's in on a black underclass. Everybody's in on it. It makes too much money. The same way as it made Lehman Brothers money. See, back then it was cotton. Now it's you in the triage unit. Now it's you in your insurance paying for counseling because trauma, right? Trauma is another form of dope. Oh, you all got trauma. Okay, cool. Well, go pay a therapist. It'll never get better. It makes too much bread. Everybody's in on it. You can march and petition as much as you want. But black death and dysfunction is profitable. Mona Scott is eating off of it. Record companies are eating off of it. Oh my God, the black pastor is eating off of it. It's a $1 trillion economy. See, the thing about the permanent underclass, it's a thing that exists, but you won't profit from it. The money will get kicked upstairs all the time. The trauma, oh, you need healing. Then you go see a therapist. The jails. Oh man, this is why that black woman is so necessary, because that black womb is the assembly line for the prison. Oh no, stay dysfunctional black woman, because that womb keep that prison popping. You know why? Because you're going to have them babies. Because his eyes is hazel. And his D is popping. So you're going to have them babies. And that boy, your Tyrone, your Antoine, or whatever you naming him now, man, that's stock for the prison. Oh, yeah. This shit will never stop. See, the way the permanent underclass works, you need this basement people, this people at the bottom of the social ladder that make everybody's lives easier. See, you pull from them. You're not going to benefit from your dysfunction. You're not going to benefit from your trauma. No. Everyone else is. That's why it's called black. Black is a thing. It's a product. It's made to make people money, but not you. Not you. That's not how it works. Black is an object. You see my shirt is black, right? And you see how you'll raise your hand and I'm black and I'm proud. So you're related to my shirt? You're related to this clip thing right here that's black? That's not a people. It's a product. And this is why black behavior, look at the way it's designed, is designed to make motherfuckers money. Nurses, surgeons, policemen, firemen, politicians, funeral homes. Oh man, the funeral business is a profitable business. These young boys gonna keep blowing each other's head off. And they come right out of that black womb. It is what it is. That black womb is a gold mine, because whatever comes out of that black womb is going to make somebody some money. Either jail, the funeral home, the black pastor, oh man, the bodega. People is really mad at Planned Parenthood. No, they like, man, let that black woman have them babies. We're going to get rich. It's a business model. You don't even got to be from America. If you want to make money, move around the niggas, period. Rich people don't make their money off each other. Rich people make their money off poor people. Rich people are oftentimes frugal. It's funny. Rich people look poor. Poor people look rich. It's a global business model. Hey, when you get to America, if you want to make some money, sell what the niggas like. They don't give a damn. $5 come, ooh, it's like a hot potato. Just get that shit up. It's programmed, right? It's programmed in the Negro mind because it's a product, because the Negro is a Frankenstein, created it out of a white man's mind. You pull somebody away from their nationality, you pull somebody away from their religion, you pull somebody away from their tribal history, and you implant a mindset of victimization and consumption. So the way that the Negro expresses himself, the way that he expresses his pain is buying shit. That's the release. Man, I spent $400 on this. Just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on this. Look at the way the Negro does on the internet. Now, you would think that people would network. you would consume information and figure out how to do it. No, the Negro's a product on the internet too, because a customer profile is being built around what the Negro likes and is sold back to you. Because you know most people don't use the internet outside of social media. Even though Google is God, Google is God. Ask Google anything, it will answer you quicker than grandma's prayers, who she prays to. That's not my opinion. That ain't my opinion. But this permanent underclass thing, you either gonna be a part of it or you're gonna make money off of it. There's no in between. You better find what the niggas like and sell it to them, or you're gonna be part of that permanent underclass that Claude Anderson was talking about. It is going to happen. This is a fact. Now I'll give you a solution at the end of this to tell you what you can do. But you either gonna sell what niggas like, or you're gonna be part of the permanent underclass. Now, I don't give a damn what you think about me, but we're in the fourth revolution. We're in the fourth one. Now, mind you, it never went back to the old way. Never. We never went back. Once we go forward, we don't go back. Black woman, I don't give a damn what that dude say to you. You better close your legs, because 9 times out of 10, whatever comes out your womb is going to make somebody rich, but not you, because your child is going to be born with all the characteristics that it makes somebody rich. They're either going to get shot and killed, so the funeral home is going to get money. They're either going to have some type of trauma, so their therapists and counselors are going to get money, or they're going to be eating hot Cheetos and cheese doodles, so the bodega is going to get money. The policeman is going to get money because they're going to lock your son up. Immigrants are going to get money. Everybody's going to make money except you. Close your legs or swallow it, but do something. But the thing about the permanent underclass is, like, what makes it scary is because, like Black America, your services are no longer needed. Your services are no longer needed. I played that video for you. The average Black man works in a warehouse or does some type of construction or something like that. Well, your services are no longer needed. That represents the old world. Oh, and Black love. I know y'all believe in Black love. I know y'all believe in Black love. But before I get to Black love, I want to show y'all something though. Let me show y'all something that oh no, don't run. Let me show you something. I was doing some research the other day, right? So I like financial forecasts and shit. So this is a study, a forecast of population done by the PEW Institute. So you could go to pewresearch.org, right? So what I want to show you is, while y'all talking about masculinity, femininity, should a man pay all the bills, submissive woman, that's what y'all talk about. So you mean to tell me in the information age, this is the conversation y'all used to having? Y'all having very primitive, very outdated convo. Who should pay the bills? That's what y'all talking about? Man, just pay them. Well, while you're having this conversation, right? By 2050, the Hispanic population will be 128 million. Basically, that's years from now, many of you will still be alive. Now, why is that a problem? Because if you go down here, the black population in America, African American, is only projected to be 59 million. Wait a minute. 59 million in 30 years. But the Hispanic population, 128 million. Do you think these people are going to give your kid a job if there's any brick and mortar? Honestly. Do you think these people are going to be nice to you? Why would they? Look at their numbers. 128 million. But hey, peep this though. Right around that time, the Asian population will be 41 million. So we can make a projection by the year 2100, the Asian population will be ahead of the Negro population. So now white people, Asians, and Hispanics will have a higher population in America than the African American population. Ain't no social justice in the world gonna be able to feed you. I think it's a game. Neely Fuller said, black people are serious about stupid things and stupid about serious things. Games and play. You know how I know? Because before I come on here talking shit, I always see what you niggas is talking about. You're talking about relationship dynamics. It has nothing to do with the future. You're talking about relationship dynamics. What a high value man is and being submissive. Yo, do you understand that humans compete with each other? Do you understand that your competition right now is immigration and technology? People come to America to participate in the free market. They don't come to be friends with people. They come to get money and go to school. And they don't have a lot of the same cultural beliefs around success the way you do. Look at this number. By 2050, that's 30 years from now, the Hispanic population is projected to be 128 million, and the black population in America is projected to be 59 million. 6, 12. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. But just tell me, was Claude Anderson right when he was talking about the permanent underclass? Advice, learn another language ASAP. ASAP. Learn another language. Just wanted to drop that on you, because while we're having games and play conversation, this is happening. Right? Now, I ain't no scholar. I ain't none of that. What I am is an observer. And I know how to survive. And one thing about me, I will not be part of a losing team. So whether this is misnomers, like the brother said, okay. I'm going to show you something else, though. Why you tripping? Why you playing? So I like to play a lot and shit. And I like to have funny conversations. But you're not having conversations about NFTs and this whole economy going on. And no one's talking about inflation. Why you think that all this money that is coming out, everybody got dough, PPP loans and shit. Have you studied Venezuela and Greece? Do you know what inflation does? A loaf of bread, $10? Oh, no. I'm going to show you something else. Now, this is very interesting because while technology is breaking the back off niggas, there's something else that is also breaking the back off niggas. Let me show you. Nationality is breaking the back off niggas. Nationality. What do I mean by that? You have to be descendable. No government recognizes any objects. Technically, when a cop shoots a black person, they're not shooting a human. Humans have nationalities. And I've done it too. I've called myself black, but I didn't know any better. That's what James Brown said. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. The blacker the berry, sweeter the juice. I mean, it feels good. So I said it too. Until I found out I was non-descendable. Let's get into some of these numbers. Senate passes largest investment in Native programs in history. More than 31 billion headed to Native communities. Why? They're a nation. Iroquois is a nation. Choctaw is a nation. They could get whatever they want. Now, and when you look at Native American treaties, if a foreign army was to attack a reservation, by treaty, United States government has to defend them. They are a nation. Peep this, though. They're not part of the United States, though. Let's get into numbers, though. Because y'all talking, oh, reparations. Black people can never get reparations because you don't exist. And this is very important considering we're going into the future and AI damn sure is not going to is not going to have no empathy for no objects. Let's check it out. Washington, U.S. Senator Brian Schatz, Hawaiian Democrat, chairman of the Senate Committee of Indian Affairs, helped secure more than $31.2 billion in dedicated funding for tribal governments and Native communities. Mind you, nobody had to get shot by the police. You see how the Black Lives Matter has to get donations from someone getting shot. No one got shot by the police. This is just campaigning behind the scenes. The new funding will deliver immediate relief for hard-hit Native American families and support tribal nations as they build a bridge toward economic recovery. So they've been called a tribal government, and now they've been called a tribal nation. I've never heard nation apply to Black people, and I've never heard the word government applied to Black people. Why do you think that is? Now, oftentimes I use the term Black because it's programmed in my mind. But until I find out otherwise, I consider myself a member of the lost tribes, nigga. I'm a lost tribes member. I don't know who the hell I am or where I'm from, but I'm not Black, though. I'm not I'm not an ideal in the European's mind. I'm not a Negro. I'm not colored. So until I figure out who the hell I am, then I'm part of the lost tribes, and I'll go from there. Let's just get into the numbers. Look, let's get into the numbers. All right. 20 billion for tribal governments to combat COVID-19 and stabilize tribal community safety net program through Treasury, state and local. All right. 6 billion for native health systems. Sheesh. Let me make the numbers big so you can see. So y'all can see, because this needs to be a little bigger. Because they eating. Indian Service, 2.3 billion for COVID-19 vaccines, testing, tracing, mitigation, workforce expensive. 2 billion for lost third-party medical billing reimbursements. 600 million for healthcare facilities, construction, and sanitation programs. 500 for clinical health services. 420 million for mental and behavioral health. Niggas need that. 140 million for improving health, IT, and telehealth access. 84 million for urban Indian health programs. 10 million for portable water delivery. All right. Native Hawaiian healthcare system. 20 million set aside for Papa Olakali. Local, I don't know what their O does. So Papa Ola and Native American Hawaiian healthcare systems within the community. Like, first of all, who came with these? Who came with this? Like, this is what y'all need. This how you put a plan together. I'm sorry, but I'm not listening to Roland Martin for nothing. He can't give me no paper. Whoever came up with this, 1.248 billion for HUD, tribal and native housing programs. Yo, man, this is hella bread. 498 million tribal 498 million tribal set aside with Treasury Homeowners Assistance Program for tribes and native housing. 450 million for Indian Housing Block Grant. 280 million for Indian Community Development Block Grant. 15 million for technical assistance, administrative costs, and oversight. What does that even mean? For technical assistance, administrative costs, and oversight, what's that mean? 5 million for Native Hawaiian Housing Block Grant. Look at these billions, man. Look at these billions. This is how you have the permanent underclass. Black is not even recognized. So you got technology and you got immigration. Now let's throw in nationality. Eventually, we're going to have the talk of who we are. And it's so interesting that people try to apply a modern thinking in the ancient times. People will be like, look, see, black people in Asia, they didn't call themselves black. Oh, look, black people in the Philippines, they did not call themselves black. You are trying to put now language into how people identify with themselves in the past. Listen and listen clear. Being called black come out of a European's mind. Spanish went to Central and South America, called them people negros. Even though the Arawak and Taínos like, nah, I'm not that. And the Spanish conquistadors like negro. See, when you win the war, you can pull people in your language. And whatever applies in that language applies to you now. So in their language, anything black was the devil. Anything black was negative. We turn around and try to change the language. Nah, black mean beautiful. Triple black mother goddess. And man, no. Look at the numbers. Let's get to it. 1.1 billion for what? Native education programs, including Bureau of Indian Education Schools, tribal education agencies, tribal colleges and universities, Native Hawaiian education programs, Alaskan Native education programs. Listen, one thing about the white man, they will give you money. The white man is not stingy. You just gotta come to him right. Now somebody will be like, well, Ken, white is a color. You're right. But white in language is positive. White is incapable of immoral impurity. So to be white is actually a good thing in language. I ain't talking skin color. So this is why a white man is always innocent. Why? Because in the definition of being white, you're incapable of immoral impurity. You have favor and fortune. Anyway, 850 million for Bureau of Indian Education programs and dormitories and tribal colleges. 190 million for Department of Education grants to tribal education agencies. I mean, man, 142 million for tribal colleges and universities through Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund. 89 million for Native serving institutions of higher education. What does this mean? But you want to have conversations trying to convince the women who a high value man is or not, or if you're submissive or not. Notice, none of this, none of the money going to natives. One thing you're not going to see is femininity and masculinity. None of these billions are going towards masculinity and femininity. What you see is education. What you see is housing. You don't see femininity. That's what the Negro's talking about, though. The Negro is really having a conversation in modern times about masculinity and femininity. But automation is going to decimate the black man. You heard Claude Anderson talking about it. The black man is going to be forced into crime to feed his family. You're not going to see the term high value man in here. $1 billion for Native families. $1 billion for tribal care program and supports. $750 million for TANF guarantees to provide assistance to families in need through the Pandemic Emergency Assistance Fund. $900 million for Bureau of Indian Affairs programs. $700 million for tribal government services. What's that? General welfare, assistance to tribal governments, public safety, child welfare. $100 million for housing improvement program. $20 million for water delivery. $7.5 million for administrative costs and insights. What does that mean? $7.5 million for administrative costs? Does that mean to process paperwork? This is on the books, y'all. You ain't heard nothing. The Biden administration passed this. Oh, yeah. Permanent underclass is real. $600 million for Native communities' critical economic and infrastructure investments. $500 million for tribal governments to support capital investments in Native businesses within Treasury, state, small, and business credit initiative. $100 million for critical infrastructure projects in Native communities. I mean, man, this is Yo, they throwing that money around. Hey, I would advise some of y'all to look in your family's history. Right now is a good time to be a part of a native tribe. Look in your family's history. Do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. Some of you have been ripped away from any type of native history by being reclassified as Black. Once you call it Black, it no longer belongs to a tribe, a clan, or a nation. It is non-descendable. It belongs to the corporation. I suggest y'all look inside y'all families. And I'm not talking about no DNA test neither. I'm talking about talking to the old people in your family, going to the Library of Congress, open up the books. Because they going to say, oh, nah, you Nigerian. Even though ain't no damn slave ships. Anyway, 20 million to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on native. Listen to this. Listen to this, man. 20 million to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on native languages. What did COVID do to native languages? Like, whoever came up with this is genius, because this is how you work the system. And I'm not hating on natives or nothing, because if I find out, I don't give a damn what drop of blood is native of me. Bye-bye, niggas. I'm going to have feathers in my head. I'm a rain dance. Bye-bye. I'm out of here. With all this money coming in, I'm going to wet my beak. 20 million for emergency native language preservation and maintenance grant program through administration for Native Americans to mitigate impacts of COVID-19 on native language communities. That's crazy. Like, what did COVID-19 do to the language? Whatever lawyer this is genius. One thing about the American government, they will give you money if you know how to work the system. The way niggas work the system is through welfare. We like welfare. Section 8. Nah, man. 19 million. Look, man, listen. Oh, God. 19 million for communities' efforts to combat domestic violence. 18 million for tribal awardees through the Family Violence Prevention and Services Act. 1 million for Strong Hearts Native Domestic Violence Hotline. How is money gonna stop? How is $19 million gonna stop couples from fighting? This is genius. I ain't even mad at it. In case you wonder what I'm reading, by the way, this is from the Committee on Indian Affairs. And this got passed March 6th. So that money is already out there. $31 billion. Wow. Now, I already showed you the immigration article. Yeah, niggas in bad shape. Niggas in bad shape, man. actually scary because we're having the wrong convo, right? I think reading them numbers. I think I gotta take a break on that. We'll be right back. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you can't do it. Mm-hmm. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you was just born to suffer.
Right.
Don't let nobody trick you into believing that your dreams are impossible. See, when you got game, you can make the impossible possible. When you got game, you defy the odds.
Yo.
When you got game, you make things happen. Things don't happen to you.
Talk that shit, Ken.
All things is possible with game, baby. Take it from me. I done did it from Maine to Spain.
Come through the door with it.
My game cost me. I paid for it. So you should too. Hit that Cash App. Pay like you weigh. Whatever you got is good, baby. Just bring it to the table. Can't billions. Technology will ruin Black love. Because Black love hasn't upgraded. Because there's bad conversations happening with Black love, right? Black men and women aren't using the internet to spar with ideals about how to move forward. It's big on symbolism. So it's the conversation about who's the head of the household. That's all symbolism, though. Has nothing to do with algorithms. It has nothing to do with anything substantial for the new world. I showed you in population projections. I showed you a robot that can lift 800 boxes an hour. I showed you how Native Americans are getting $31 billion exclusively for them. So that's a nationality conversation. See, we're talking about masculinity and femininity and a woman being submissive, even though that has nothing to do with technology. I came with videos today, though. I came with videos. So look, let's go right to it. How AI will change the future, right? Let's get into it.
Imagine a world in which everything is now connected. So not just you and your smartphone, I'm talking about trucks connected to pallets, connected to packaging, connected to products, connected to these drones that are now going to be delivering things from the sky. Now don't panic. This isn't real. It's just CGI. Amazon are not delivering by drone. It starts next month, apparently. So you've got some time. So if you look at it, right, so these retailers are investing massive amounts of money in building these smart warehouses now. Now, is all of this technology just about giving you things faster than before? Well, the question we need to ask ourselves, whether it's in any field of endeavor, is what is now possible that wasn't possible before? Why are Amazon and Ocado and Alibaba doing all of this? See, I think what they're trying to do is to anticipate your needs before you've had to ask. Take Amazon. Have any of you ever ordered something and been shocked that it was in stock on Amazon Prime? I used to think there was this Indiana Jones warehouse somewhere with everything ever made by human beings waiting to be shipped out. Right? So, you had peanut butter next to lithium batteries, next to the Ark of the Covenant. One only. And I discovered I was actually completely wrong. I came to Seattle to do a session for Amazon once, and I was shocked to discover that in many cases, the item that you order is not in stock until a few days before you order it. You see, an algorithm predicts that you are going to order that item. So they preemptively send it to a fulfillment center near where they think you're going to be. So in order for it to arrive to you on time, it's had to enter the supply chain before you knew you wanted it. Now think about that. At what point does Amazon just start sending you packages before you order them? I know it's weird, right? They've got a patent on it. They call it anticipatory shipping. I call it freaky as hell shipping.
Remember that term, anticipatory shipping. Anticipatory shipping. What that means is they will send you shit without you even ordering it. Why? Because they do that from the websites you go to and what you like on social media. So they're making a prediction that you're going to buy that. This is where we're at in the game right now. Where you're being tracked so much that they know what you're going to like before you even buy it, and they send it out to you. Who's developing these things? So I ask you, are you having the right conversation or not? If you talking to a man and y'all not talking about the future, stop talking. If you talking to a woman and y'all not talking about the future, stop talking. Because shit ain't gravy for real. The world is moving and you can't stop technology. So just remember that. Anticipatory shipping.
Because can you imagine, you're going to be home one day, and I don't know, you're kind of working, shopping, and you're about to order something, and you just about to click buy now, but you never get there because suddenly you're distracted by this whirring noise outside your house. You're like, what the hell is that? And then you see this black and yellow drone descending from the sky and drops this package at your feet. You go, that's weird. I didn't order anything. So you go to open it up. And you look inside, and you immediately drop it to the ground because there inside was the very thing you were just looking at a second ago. How did they know? Alexa. You'd be like a crazy person, like, running around the house unplugging all your smart speakers, I know, some of you are just going to send it back. Show Jeff Bezos who's boss. Yeah? And then a few days later, you have to order it again because they were right. You needed that stuff. And your kids are going to be looking at you like you're insane. But this is the point. In this new algorithmic age, the game is, how do you use data to understand people's behavior, to anticipate their needs before they've had to even ask? And this is starting to happen in places like China. I mean, they're so far ahead. They've got fully automated convenience stores like 7-Elevens on steroids. They use facial recognition and algorithms to restock themselves and merchandise. I mean, they've got robot hotels and robot restaurants and even smart home collection devices that expand when you have deliveries. Even the beggars in the street don't want coins anymore. They've got QR codes. They want you to donate straight to their smartphones. Cash is so 2017 in China. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that you can see we're already at the beginnings of a fundamental transition to a different kind of world with a different way of living. And that's going to change not just our interactions, but the way we interface with technology.
To anticipate what a person wants before they even say it. For real, y'all. Having the wrong conversation. Right? Now, yeah, man, I like to have fun like everybody else. I like to kick it and shit like that, but we are in the future. When we were young and we would watch the Jetsons and we would watch Back to the Future, that's now. You are in the future. And I'm sorry to tell you that one of the tricks they play on niggas is to keep you out of the loop of letting you know that you're in a future. And there's a way that that happens. And I'm going to show you the way that it happens. From these people right here. These people right here are the reason you don't know that you're in the future. These people right here are playing games with you. These people, they're the reason you don't know nothing. They tell you what to think, not how to think. They frame the entire world for you, and you see it through that lens. They put out police encounters for a reason. Oh, my bad. Oh, you didn't know who this was? They're called the Medes. The Medes, Medes, the Medes. They're from an area called Media. Their language was Median. Their religion was Zoroastrianism. Their priests were fire worshipers and illusionists. They steal your focus every single time. Every single time. They frame the world for you. They use distortion and deletion and generalizations. And then you walk and talk, and you talk from a perspective of what the media has given you. Did you know this was an ancient tribe of people, part of the Persian Empire? Their priests were illusionists. Basically, what you see is not what you think. These are the Medes. The term media is a place. You ever heard the median income? That was their language, median. These are the Medes from Media. Every single time. What you think you know about the world is from this priesthood. What you feel about yourself is from this priesthood. They control your number one asset, which is your attention span. You think you got a police brutality issue, right? But did you know over 250,000 people die from medical malpractice every single year? Surgeons messing up. But that doesn't drive ratings, though. You have an immigration issue, a technology issue, and an inflation issue. That means I don't give a damn how much you think you're flexing. Your dollar is worth 60 cents. They continuously point your attention over there. Over and over and over and over again. And you eat it up and you fall for it. These are the masters of magic. Because they're able to control what you talk about today. Someone answer me this. I need someone in the chat, honestly, to answer me this. Why do you have a TV? What's the purpose of the television? Think about this for a second. The poorest areas in America have a television. What's it for? Think about it. In your personal life, why do you have a television? What's it for? You have sports media. That means I throw a touchdown or I shoot a basketball, and then a Stephen A., no disrespect to them, or a Max Kellerman or Skip Bayless, and now Shannon Sharp, they will come tell us about what we just saw. But I just watched the damn game, though. Why do I need them to narrate what I just seen? Why? Because the media, what makes them masters of magic and masters of illusion is because they tell you what to think about something and someone, but not how to think. You can think abstractly. You can think logically, informal logic, formal logic, mathematical logic. You can think in different ways. As above, so below. Right? They tell you what to think about an individual or an instance. I'll give you a great example. This is going to hurt your feelings. There's no proof that that situation with George Floyd is racism. It is proof that the police did a terrible job. In neurolinguistic programming, that's called generalizations. They're telling you what to think about that incident. Because a Caucasian man was on top of a black man. Oh, that's racism. Who they told you that was racism. They're filtering. I'll give you an example, right? A situation occurs. They control the process of what you think about the situation. They frame it and classify it. Reframing is also a hypnotic technique to turn something to change the meaning of it. It's not really that, but we're going to map it over and make it that. That's how it goes. Right? That's all. That's what happens in neurolinguistic programming. You map over. It's not that, but you change the meaning and map it over. Then you put music underneath it and storytelling underneath it. Remember we talked about storytelling. What is the 4 areas of storytelling? Victim, villain, guide, and hero. The Medes practice the art of storytelling because to create a good illusion, you need those 4 components. Someone has to be the victim. Someone has to be the villain. Someone has to be the hero, and someone has to be the guide. Every single time. It is a motif, and they follow the rules. They never break the rules. Okay? So now you know when you are looking at these people behind the desk, framing your reality, they are called Medes. part of the Persian Empire. They from an area called Media. Okay? Media. They followed the religion of Zoroaster. They were fire worshipers and master illusionists. Copy? So what you think you're looking at, you are not looking at. Okay? All these things have ancient origins. All right? Very, very important, because the permanent underclass eats media up. The permanent underclass gets all of its information from media. How to feel about each other, how to feel about the world. I suggest that you pull away from the tribe of media and put your nose in your books and put your nose in your family, because you have to escape the path of what Claude Anderson talked about, of the permanent underclass. So that is the means. All right. So just to bring this back, 4 industrial revolutions: industrial, mass production, digital, cyber, physical. You are in the 4th one. And unless you change your conversation and change your behavior, you will be part of the permanent underclass. Your bloodline will have no future in America. Look at your children. Look at your grandbabies. I'm sure you want to talk about generational wealth. You won't even exist. There's no way that the last 30 years of Negro behavior is going to thrust this population of people into the future. Impossible. Impossible, y'all. You are in the future now. The Internet of Things, analytics, sensors, storage capacity, cybersecurity, privacy, connectivity, 3D printing, artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, quantum computing, nanotechnology, processing power, biotechnology, algorithms. We're in that now. You are the Jetsons now, fam. I know we want to hold on to things, but the old world never returns. Never let a person have a charismatic leader have conversations of nostalgia with you as if they're capable of bringing back a time period that doesn't exist. Jesus Christ will not exist in the future. He will be replaced by new gods, new religions, new philosophy. It always happens. Just like Christian Jesus replaced Baal. The deities of the future. The deities of the future are the people that you are seeing die now. Prediction: Kobe Bryant is a god of the future. You know why? Because Mamba mentality is a philosophy. The deities of the future are always associated with the philosophy, a way of life. And the human beings create statues of other dead humans. And then the humans generation later elevate those dead humans and turn them into gods. That's what happened. So you can die a prophet, 500 years later, you are a god. That's what happens. It's like the game of telephone. Now apply the game of telephone in a circle and extend that 1,000 years with somebody that's dying now. Nip Hussle is the God of the future. Why? Philosophy associated with him. Marathon continues. All money in. Those are philosophies. Your favorite celebrity is the God of tomorrow. Do you know why? Because virtual reality needs gods. Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, they are gods of the Pisces era. They belong to stone and papyruses and swords. They are not the gods of tomorrow. We are in the digital age, and the digital age needs saints and gods. So that's what you are looking at when you see sacrifices. When you see a person die on camera, they are a god of tomorrow. Prediction: your gods of misfortune are Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, and Eric Gardner. I can't breathe. That is a god of misfortune. I predict that is a way that a person will curse an individual in the future. Because like the Greek gods, you had Hades, who was the god of the underworld. So you have gods of Mount Olympus and gods of the underworld. The gods of Mount Olympus in the digital world are gods with a philosophy that the public uses. The gods of the underworld in the digital world are the gods that die on camera with negativity associated with their name. Take it or leave it. One thing about the kid, I know how to call it. But what is your role in the future? And who are you? Who are you in the future? Because you're in it now. Who are you in virtual reality? Who are you? Let me tell you something. If you die and can't no one Google your name, you never existed. If you don't exist on the internet, then you don't exist at all. The old world, as you know it, is over. Now, you'll always have sects that practice some ancient shit. Clandestine groups that practice the old way. You'll always have that. All right? But I'm talking about the masses. The masses. The world that you know is over. It does not exist anymore. And you people that are on the internet right now, if you don't do something with this internet and plug your name into this, when you die, you never existed. So you know how we tell time BC and AD? New time is told before the internet and after the internet. Damn near nothing, nobody's gonna be remembered from before the internet. Only a couple names like Einstein and shit like that. But when they start improving on concepts like quantum mechanics and reality and string theory, he will even become a yesterday person. So that's the internet. But I want to give you guys something you could use so it's not all doom and gloom. I'm going to give you guys something you could use, something that the meds aren't telling you about, something that you could use, take it or leave it, because we're a solution-based ministry. And I'm going to give you that right after this message.
I'm not gang related. I'm game related. Game got me on my mama's house. Game got me traveling in this entire world, man, from Maine to Spain. Game got me out of the hood, man. I done put the ass on their back because of game. I ain't lying. So when these words come out of my mouth, man, and you hear them, it's gonna change your life. You're gonna feel better, think better, move differently. This is why I believe in value for value. So I give you the game, and you give me the cash. Fair exchange, no robbery. Can't build it.
So let me give you something, man. So we not all doom and gloom. Now, some of this you can use and some of it you might can't. But I like projections. So I like to see where industries are going. So what I have here is 30 best high-paying jobs of the future, according to Business Insider. So find something on here and push your babies there. All right? The 30th industrial engineers. See, this is what you got to pay attention to. Projected new positions be basically within the next 10 years, 30,000 positions. Hey, remember this? Median, yeah, remember, that's the MEADS. Median income, 88,000. So this is what Business Insider is projecting. These are the jobs that's going to be projected. Now, there's another type of job that was not really on here, and it was like ballistics and missile development and stuff like that. So there's another sector job that doesn't get mentioned, but this is just for, let's call this the regular people. All right. And I'll put this in the chat. Marketing managers, 142,000. A marketing manager, right? So this is within the next 10 years. So they got a marketing manager, 142,000. All right. Very, very, very important if you're thinking of how you're going to make money in the next 10 years and your babies. Computer user support specialists, 52,000. Now, this is something you could do part-time. Some college, no degree. Or this is what your youngster could go into. Now, this is over the next 10 years. Human resource specialists. What they make? 63,000. Another thing you do part-time. Because in the next 10 years, it's projected that 46,000 job openings in this career field. But remember, you're going to be competing with people that are not from America. Now, understand, by 2029, 63,000 is broke. Right? So just we're clear, you're not going to be able to live off just that income. That's broke. Elementary school teacher, 60,000. I'm going to just go through some of these and I'm going to put them in the chat too. Licensed practical and licensed vocational nurses, 48,000. You're going to need another income. Don't focus on how low the salary is. Focus on the fact that it's still within the next 10 years going to be job openings for that. So you might do this and have another gig. Because honestly, by 2029, you're going to have to get your income to at least $200,000, at least, to avoid the permanent underclass. Because anything under 80,000, it's a wrap. Speech language pathologist. You didn't even know people needed that, huh? $80,000. Again, don't focus primarily on the salary. Focus on the fact for 10 years. Focus on the 10 years. That is 40,000 job openings for this. All right. Industrial machinery mechanics. Look at the picture though. Look at the picture. That's a woman. See, this is why I'm saying about how the femininity and masculinity conversation is a dumb convo. Understand, none of that exists in the future, yo. That is a old world, Paleolithic, Neolithic, caveman philosophy. Look at the job description. Industrial machinery mechanics. That's not a man. You will not be resting in your femininity at 2029. I guarantee it. If your legs don't move, baby girl, you starve. Because even though we're going to be in the future, it's going to go back to the old world in a sense that everybody has to do something. You don't get to sit on your ass. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and be feminine. You won't have no future. 55,000. Again, focus on that it's 62,000 job openings for that in the next 10 years. High school. So basically, this is the poor person's job because you only need a high school diploma or equivalent. All right. Electricians, 56,000. Now, let me tell you why this is dangerous, this electrician, because even though it's 62,000, they're going to create robots for this to run these type of diagnostics. But nonetheless, they have this as popular jobs for the next 10 years. High school diploma or equivalent. Substance abuse, behavioral disorder, and mental health counselors. Remember I was talking about the permanent underclass, the nigger factory? Oh yeah. There's going to be a lot of positions for this, for you to go heal and your trauma. Look at the positions. Look at this. Let me make it big for you. 79,000. So that means as much stuff as people got, why is mental illness so damn high? But you got everything and you're free. Crazy as batshit though. 20, sales representatives for services, except advertising, insurance, financial services, and travel. I don't even know what that means. 58,000. Hey, look. In the future, you're going to need a high school diploma just to get $50,000. A lot of openings. Now, I'm not the best reader, y'all. All right, so don't try to screen share. Oh, look at this nigga camper. I don't know how to say this word, but I'm going to try because I'm a good sport. All right, so OMP, so you got the PH. Gist. Gist. That word. Ophthalmologist. Whatever it is, it make a shit ton of money. Oh, it's some. What does this even mean? What kind of person is this? But you see, they don't got it's not a lot of open. It's only 18,000. Yeah, it's only 18,000 for that. Yeah, that's a tough one. I ain't even going front. If we was together, I'd be like, hey, what did I say? Say that word. All right. Yeah. But 200,000. Right? We're talking the future within the next 10 years. Keep in mind the permanent underclass. We're trying to avoid it. Construction managers. Always going to need that. 97,000. 97,000. Remember, this is what the Medes from media aren't talking to you about. How are you and your loved ones going to feed yourself? Because if you think that things stay the same, you're bugging. Since you've been alive, you've seen the CD player disappear. They didn't even give you the memo. You've seen the cassette player disappear. The VCR disappear. They didn't tell you and give you the heads up and say, hey, on the 3rd of April, all that shit is gone. Nah. It's just gone. Blockbuster is gone. Retail apocalypse in the city that you live in. Storefronts gone. Lawyers. Okay, you need that. 126,000. Now, this is average. 32,000 openings. That's important because the lawyer is automation proof for right now. But trust and believe, they're going to try to get a robot that's a prosecutor for sure. And for information security analysts. I'm going to put this in the chat right now. And this is best future jobs. Put this in there for y'all. So y'all got it. Then these are the best future jobs. All right. Remember, who are these people again? Who are these people? What's their name? Anybody paying attention? Who are these people? Medes. What do they control? What do the Medes control? Right? No, their language is Median. But what do the Medes control? Okay. The media. That's where they're from. Right? So remember, they control what you think about the world, not how you think about the world. Right? So the Medes are illusionists. So one of their skill set is to have you thinking that you are in 1850. As of right now, today, you're free. The Medes are such master illusionists, you will argue that if you're free or not. I'll tell you you're free, and you'll argue back to me, no, I'm not. And then I'll go down a list and say, could you have worked out in the morning? Yes or no? Could you have read what you wanted this morning? Yes or no? Is anyone in control of who you have a baby with? Yes or no? Is it arranged marriage? Yes or no? Do you control your attention span? Yes or no? Your enthusiasm, your attitude? Yes or no? Can you get a passport? Yes or no? Did you check your bank account today before you check social media? Were you free to do that? Yes or no? Can you get a library card? Yes or no? How are you not free? You know what you'll tell me? You're going to tell me something that the Medes frame for you. But this brother got killed in Tampa. But you don't even know him, though. People die every day, B. Humans, B. When are people not dying? You're going to tell me something that the Medes told you. But what if I break your phone? And what if I break your TV? Do you know what kind of mind frame you were wake up with in the morning? If I limit your access to your phone and limit your access to your television, if I take out all media from your life, do you know it's possible that you smile? You ain't smiled since the 6th grade. If I break your phone and I break your media, you might get some of your innocence back. You know that kid that used to do paper airplanes? You know the kid that used to have a childlike spirit and you was optimistic about the world? That kid, that innocent boy and that innocent girl, before you started with these limited beliefs from master illusionists, talking heads, describing the world for you, making you think that you can't do shit. Physical therapist, 91,000. Hey, I'm gonna put the link in the chat again, and you could go over it yourself. It doesn't have everything on there because a lot of it wasn't tech related, but you get the picture. So there's the link in the chat. Go do your due diligence. But I'm gonna give you an out, show you that you got an option, because you're either gonna sell shit to the permanent underclass or be one of them. But there's another option, though. There's another option. And I'm going to talk about that option right after the break. Yo, what's poppin'? It's Ken Billions, repping that Coin Gang Ministries. Listen, it's time to hit that Cash App. The Cash App is not a donation. The Cash App represents value for value. I give you value and you pay for it. Real recognize real. So listen, if you got 10, put 10. If you got 20, put 20. If you got 50, then go ahead and put the 50. And if you got the hundo, which is 100, go ahead and put the 100. But if you don't got nothing, right, and your pockets is hurting, no shade. I understand. I've been there. It's free to like and share the video. If you can't do nothing, the least you can do is like and share the video. All right? Don't be a game thief. Pay your way. If you feel like I gave you value, you feel like gave you some starting points, go ahead and do your due diligence. I'm going to give you something right now, though. That's an out, because there is an out, though. You do have options, and you do have choices. You do have choices. You can leave. Y'all know that, right? You're not stuck in America. You can live. You can leave. You don't got to stay here. You can leave. Like baby girl right here, she can leave. She always comes through, though. For some reason, black people, you got options. You got options too, baby. Take your options. Go where you appreciate it. Go where they fuck with you. You got options. Never go to the space where you ain't fucking with it. That don't make no sense. But I understand. You have been tricked and trained by the Medes. They have told you that you had to interface and fuck with shit you don't like. But you got options, baby. Black woman, exhaust your options, girlfriend. Do the Lord's work, girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got nothing bad to say about you, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what's up. So, but yeah, you got options though. So let's get into the options. Let's see what the brother talking about. You got options, remember.
The countries that we selected for this list are some of the most talked about and loved on the internet. We asked Black travelers about their favorite countries and went through tons of blogs and videos to bring you this list. These countries are not in order, as everyone has different preferences and places that they would love to call home. Let's start with number 1, Panama. Panama, home of the Panama Canal, is the southernmost country in Central America. It borders Costa Rica and Colombia, has a beautiful, diverse landscape of high mountains and beautiful beaches, and it's the only place in the world where you can see the sun rise in the Pacific and set on the Atlantic. It is relatively close to the United States, with a flight from Houston to Panama being just 4 hours. The distance from New York to Panama is almost the same as living in New York and visiting relatives in LA. Panama City is the capital city of Panama, and that is where a majority of expats live. It is considered to be the true first world city in Central America. The city has a lot of the same luxuries and amenities that you might be used to in the United States. There is high-speed internet, cable TV, great cellular data, and highways and freeways in great condition everywhere you go. They have amazing healthcare, amazing food, and with a growing economy, Panama is a great place to live and do business. Also, don't worry about the exchange rate because they already use the US dollar, and most of the locals do speak English. Almost nowhere in the world has a better climate than Panama, with the average temperature ranging between 70 and 90 degrees during the day and in the 70s at night, and that's year-round. Panama may not be the cheapest country on this list, but it's still a lot cheaper than living in places like Southern California. The average cost to live in the capital, Panama City, which many consider to have the feel of Miami, is just $2,000 a month, and that's for 2 people. If you...
Man. Y'all got options. You don't have to be part of the permanent underclass. You can go. The world is big. You can get out of here. If you're not feeling none of this, you could put your plan together and go. The cost of living for 2 people, $2,000. As long as you got Wi-Fi, you should be able to make anything happen anywhere. That's all you need is Wi-Fi. The cost of living, $2,000. Come on now. Y'all got options. Put Panama on your list.
Want to live outside the city, the price can drop in half. In the neighboring city of Boquete, families can rent 3-bedroom homes for around $800 a month. As far as extracurricular activities, there's literally nothing you can't do in Panama. They have hiking, golf, tennis, river rafting, soccer, and even an international film festival. So, whether you're looking to retire or live that Miami lifestyle for cheaper, Panama might be the right place for you. Number 2, Mexico. As an American, when someone mentions Mexico, most people instantly only picture Tijuana, a quick vacation trip to Cancun, or maybe drug cartels and crime. but Mexico is so much more. For instance, did you know Mexico is the most popular destination for North American expats in the world, and more are joining them all the time? And although there are cartels there, just like gangs and cartels in the United States, this is something most locals never have to worry about. Over 1 million people from the US and over 500,000 Canadians currently reside in Mexico. Just like Panama, one of the main reasons Black expats are moving to Mexico is the relative distance to the United States. You can get to Mexico from most US international airports in just 2 hours. As far as climate, Mexico is 3 times the size of Texas, so it has something for everyone. Of course, it has the beach lifestyle with white sands, heat, and humidity, but it also has areas that never get too hot or too cold most of the year. The cost of living in Mexico is much lower than living in the United States. According to internationalliving.com, for a 2-bedroom home, you might pay $750 a month in rent, $200 in property taxes, and electricity might only cost $25. And this is in a good neighborhood. The cost of great private health care for a couple is around $300 a month. As far as infrastructure, the highway system is good. Most places have high-speed internet, and you can even find Home Depot, Walmart, and Costco in Mexico too. A lot of Black women even report being able to find their favorite hair products in Mexico. The main language, of course, is Spanish, but in a lot of the bigger cities, you can get by speaking English. Mexican people are extremely friendly, and as far as recreation, anything you can do in the States, you can pretty much do in Mexico, for much cheaper, of course. The Lake Chapala area just south of Guadalajara holds the largest number of US and Canadian expats in Mexico. So you might want to start there if you're looking about giving Mexico a try. Number 3, Portugal. Portugal is a...
Bet y'all didn't know that one for Portugal. All right. So we got Panama, we got Panama and Mexico. 2 Spanish-speaking countries, right? Now this is so you escape the Black permanent underclass. Claude Anderson was right. Let's give him his flowers. He was right. It's happening. Right? Nationality, immigration, inflation, and technology are all wars on the so-called Black American that you ain't gonna win. You're not gonna win. So the best bet is to see the problem and adjust accordingly. Right? So this is your out right here.
Southern European country bordered by Spain to the east and the Atlantic Ocean to the west. As far as safety, the Global Peace Index rates Portugal as the 3rd safest country in the world, and many Blacks report feelings of zero overt racism. Portugal has a lot of diversity, and you will get to see people from all over the world. A lot of people from Brazil and Portuguese-speaking African countries started moving there in the 70s, so you will not feel out of place. Portugal is another country that has a really good climate. The south experiences Mediterranean weather with mild winters and hot summers. Further north, it's a little bit cooler. The average temperature for the whole country is around 70 degrees. As far as expenses, most Americans have said it's about 1/3 or even 1/4 of how much they would be paying in the States. Many say it has the lowest cost of living of any Western European country. Rent in Lisbon, the capital city of Portugal, is around $1,000 a month for a 1 or 2 bedroom. But in other parts of the country, you can find apartments for as low as $400. You can find properties for sale in Lisbon as low as $150,000. You can get private health insurance for as little as $46 per month per person. There is also even a tax incentive program for foreigners called the Non-Habitual Tax Residence, or NHR. Under this program, you can pay reduced taxes or no taxes on income you're bringing into Portugal. As far as infrastructure, education system, and healthcare, Portugal is as advanced as any other country that might be considered advanced. The main language is Portuguese, but many Blacks from the US said they got around just fine speaking English. Number 4, everyone's favorite, Costa Rica. In the States, I think everyone has heard about people moving to Costa Rica. Costa Rica has long been one of the most popular destinations for young entrepreneurs trying to get away from the rat race or older people looking to retire. It is relatively close to the US, with a flight from Texas to Costa Rica being around 3 hours. Costa Rica, like Panama, is a country that connects North America and South America. Many Americans think it's an island because of its beautiful beaches, dense rainforest, and wildlife, but it's not. Costa Rica has an amazing tropical climate with a mild temperature ranging from the low 70s to the low 90s year-round. Expenses in Costa Rica is a lot more affordable than the States. A 3-bedroom home in the Central Valley, where a lot of expats live, could be as little as $119,000 to buy and $500 a month to rent. You'll pay 0 income taxes on foreign earned income. If you buy a home in Costa Rica, your annual property taxes will be no more than $100 to $200 in most cases, and there's no capital gains tax. Costa Rica also has very affordable private healthcare system that is top-notch. Many Americans report paying a third to a fifth of what they would pay in the States, and many of the doctors in the private sector even speak English. Costa Rica is a country that is dedicated to peace and safety. In 1948, they even got rid of their army and used the budget on education and healthcare instead. Many blacks say they feel much safer in Costa Rica than the States. As far as infrastructure, public transportation is safe and reliable, and the internet is fast. Costa Rica is one of the top rated places for retirees year after year. And number 5, Ghana. Last but not least, we have Ghana. And I mean, of course, I couldn't make a top 5 list for black expats without mentioning at least one African country. Ghana is a country in the west of Africa, just north of the equator. Known as the Gold Coast, it is estimated by the members of the African American Association of Ghana that about 5,000 African Americans are currently living in the capital city of Accra. That's a sharp increase from the 1,000 a decade ago. The temperature in the city of Accra, where most expats live, is amazing if you like warm weather, full of sunshine year-round, with the average temperature in the 80s and 90s during the day and mid-70s at night. They do have a rainy season between May and June, so it does get humid during those months. Now, I have to be honest, Ghana and many other places in Africa are very different than it is in the States. Most people that move there either really love it or they really want to go back home. There are many positives to living in Ghana, and there are plenty of things you will have to get used to if you're used to living in the West. Ghana is full of amazing beaches and amazing food. Everything is super fresh, and they say you haven't had fruit until you have eaten fruit from Ghana. Everyone in Ghana speaks English, but the dialect takes some getting used to. The cost of living there is much cheaper than it is in the States. According to the YouTube channel Expat Life Ghana, which is a family of 4 documenting their move from America to Ghana, a family of 4 can live very comfortably for $30,000 a year, and that's with sending a kid to private school. Their budget also includes an after-school private tutor and paying for private healthcare. Ghana is also known as a very friendly and respectful place. Many people say in Ghana they are able to establish real relationships when they move there, unlike the States. You do have to be careful of being taken advantage of financially because you're a foreigner. Many blacks complain that the locals are trying to overcharge them once they know that they're from America. Ghana has a much slower pace than in the States, which is a good and a bad thing. Sometimes you will enjoy the slow pace, but other times it will be a nightmare when you need to get things done. Ghana is a fast-growing country, but the infrastructure has some catching up to do. But if you're looking for a place with a slower pace that's affordable and will introduce you to an amazing African culture, Ghana is a great choice. So that's it for our top 5 list of places for black expats. Of course,
I wanted to show y'all that to let y'all know that it's not just doom and gloom and that you have agency over your life. The permanent underclass is going to happen. It's happening. This revolution that we're in, you're not going to be able to stop it. You're only going to have to adjust and adapt. We're in the 4th revolution in this country. Industrial, mass production, digital, and cyber physical. Now remember, it never goes back to the way that it was, ever. Technology is not going to go nowhere. The way people communicate it's not changing. but you have options. Use technology and don't let it use you. If you have an $800 phone, an Apple, question, have you made your money back yet from buying that phone? Does your phone make you money? Just step back for a second and think about the relationship you have with your phone. Is it a one-sided relationship? Do you invest in your phone more than your phone invests in you? Because you're walking around with a computer in your pocket and you spent the rack on it. So if you haven't made your money back yet, that was a bad investment. Put your phone down for a second. If you haven't figured out how to make money from your phone and set plays, put it down and come back later. I'm gonna show you something else real quick while we're here, because we was talking about some South American countries. So I'm all about getting to it, right? Now, yeah, there's apps on phones and shit. But look, man, I like Rosetta Stone because it helps you write the language too. Look, man, if you want to get out of the black permanent underclass, you gotta learn a language. Point blank. No way around it. So we seen by the year 2050, there's gonna be 128 million Hispanics in America. We need another language. You better take your ass over to Rosetta Stone and get you an account. I don't give a whatever language. Me, I'm on Spanish right now. But whatever it is, French, anything, Mandarin, anything. Speak the languages that people are going to do commerce in. Nothing wrong with Swahili, none of that. But if you're not going to do commerce in the language, put it down. Smart languages are Arabic, Hebrew, Mandarin, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. You will not be part of the permanent underclass if you get another language under your belt. That I could promise you. Right? So go over the head of Rosetta Stone, man. You know what I'm saying? The thing about the apps on the phone, I'm saying treat this like school and give yourself an hour a day and get yourself pens and pencils and write the language and learn the language. This is the thing. This is the thing. The time is going to go by anyway. And if you give yourself an hour a day for a year and a half, just think about how cold you'll be. Because you spend an hour on social media every single day anyway. So what if you take that hour and reallocate it to learning a language? You're going to have to. First off, the average African comes over to America speaking 3 full languages. They're going to kill us. And this is not no diss to nobody else. This is about game and survival. Right? So if you want to escape the permanent underclass, again, it's going to happen. Get that language under your belt and get yourself invested heavily into this internet. I ain't got nothing else for you. That's it. Until next time, people. The game champ, Ken Billy. What's up? I hope you enjoyed the game. Listen, heaven on earth isn't just something that you do on the weekend. It's a lifestyle, and I can help you with that lifestyle. If you enjoyed everything that you heard, just imagine what it would be like on a one-on-one personalized call with you and I. It does not matter what you're going through. I can help you. So make sure you call the line below. That number is 24 hours. It does not matter what you're going through, whatever question that you have, I got the answer. My name is Ken Billions. This is Coin Game Ministries.
Grown man business, priceless experiences, Napa Valley, wine tasting, spoiling my women friends, sitting at the table with